right, so first things first, welcome to Paul Gregory Media's webinar, Social Media Cause-Driven Copywriting. I'm Katrina Cerise, PGM Social Media Manager, and I'm here to help you improve your copywriting for social media, to spread awareness and drive meaningful conversation about your mission, to help you recruit volunteers, increase donations, and reach your goals. I'm so happy you could join us for today's session. I hope that you find this presentation informative and inspirational for your social media journey. In today's session, we'll cover the most important elements to consider when writing copy for social media posts, including why copywriting is important, how to tell a story in a social post, how to leverage hashtags, when and how to cross-post across platforms, and creating copy for graphics. A Q&A will follow this presentation for us to clarify any outstanding questions. So first things first, we had a chance to get to know each other, so I will move right into the heart of the presentation, but a little bit about me. I'm the social media manager with over 4 years of professional social media management experience. And we'll just skip over this section. We've had a chance to be acquainted. So why is copywriting important? Skipping over written content on social media is so prevalent that the internet has an abbreviation for it, TLDR, or too long didn't read. Your main avenue for sharing your message isn't just in the graphic or picture attached, it's in the copy of the post itself. So it's important to ensure that your copy is actually read. In order to do this, you need to remember the ultimate goal, which is to invite your audience into a conversation with your brand by writing copy that is consistent with your organization's branding, is inviting in tone to build relationships, providing meaningful call to actions that resonate with your audience, grabbing attention in the first line, and making your message memorable. So let's discuss how to break this down in terms of your greatest tactic on social media, storytelling. Audiences on social media crave authenticity. More and more consumers are supporting brands that share their values. And long story short, your story matters. Your story drives home why your audiences should want to support you. But how do you boil down a whole story into just one post? Every story is made of chapters. Break down each post to share an excerpt of the entire novel that is your organization. Each post should consist of a hook, delivery, and call to action. Your hook is one sentence or even shorter. It's the attention grabber, the cue to stop scrolling. Appeal to humor, ask a rhetorical question, or surprise the reader with a mind-blowing fact that's relevant to the story you're introducing. Next, you'll need to deliver your message. This is your opportunity to inform the reader of key information relevant to your post. Use statistics, quote experts, and address any concerns you may anticipate from your audience to lead into the main reason for your post, the call to action. Your call to action is the thesis of your post. It's what you want your audience to do with the information you've presented to them. Provide clear directions for how your audience should respond to your post and leave nothing up to assumption. Provide a URL, phone number, or button to sign up. Encourage them to act and remind them that their actions matter, no matter the size. Let's take a look at what storytelling in a post looks like in action. 4Ocean is a nonprofit dedicated to cleaning up the oceans and conserving marine life. Take a look at the copy that accompanies this video of their co-founder cleaning up a ghost net. POV, you're cleaning the mangroves and find this monster cluster of ghost nets. This is a fantastic hook because it makes the post appeal to the reader personally and instantly by cueing them with the abbreviation POV, implying that the story isn't separate from us. It could in fact be our own point of view. We're effectively hooked. They go on to say, you wouldn't believe the amount of ghost nets our crews find around the world every single day. And here you'll see our co-founder and CEO, Alex J. Schultz, tackling this huge ghost net that's choking the mangroves and leaking microplastics into the ocean. This is a fantastic way to deliver the key information of the message. By using emotive and figurative language, such as you wouldn't believe, tackling this huge ghost net, and choking the mangroves, We aren't just being told there's a problem. We are being called to picture it, to imagine ourselves in the ocean with Alex, to imagine the grim consequences of pollution. This is a perfect primer for their call to action as follows. Let this be another important reminder of how vital it is that we get these death traps out of the ocean. Shop the GhostNet Awareness Bracelet at link. Effectively, we have stopped scrolling. We've been informed, and we've been called to do something about the information shared with us in a compelling way. By simply buying an awareness bracelet, we are helping those out doing the hard work, like Alex, and helping this organization clean up the oceans. Additionally, by tagging the founder and including a geotag, extra credibility is lent to the post and the organization, implying they are on the ground doing the work just as they claim to be doing. Now, what's a great post if no one sees it? Great question. Let's talk about hashtags. So what's the deal with hashtags? Simply put, they make your content search friendly. Post copy alone is not enough for your content to be seen by people who don't already follow you. With hashtags, your content will pop up in search results when a user is searching for content that interests them. It's your way to be seen by new folks who may have never even heard of you before. With that in mind, hashtags fall into one of the following categories: related, local, event, holiday, and brand hashtags. Don't feel the pressure to have to include all of these in one post, but keep in mind that a healthy mix that spans your content is key to diversifying your audience. So let's take a look at some hashtags in action. Hashtags are your best friend when it comes to expanding your reach beyond your current followers. Let's take a look at this post from the Environmental Defense Fund. While their hook and delivery are fantastic, their hashtags ensure that they will reach people based on their interests and brand identity with the hashtag conservation, which is in line with their mission. Their locality or locality of interest to them with Bahamas and Egg Island, and another related interest of sea turtles. These hashtags will garner far more reach than no hashtags at all, and even more arguably than one named after them, such as hashtag Environmental Defense Fund, which is long and a highly specific search term. Think of hashtags like the fuel inside the search engine of social media platforms. If you type it into Google to describe your post, it should probably be a hashtag. With all this work, wouldn't you like to be able to get more mileage from just one post? Let's discuss the do's and don'ts of cross-posting. Cross-posting, while convenient, comes with a few caveats. The goal of copywriting is to create content that is entertaining, educational, inspirational, and enjoyable for your audience. This means you have to keep the culture of each platform in mind when you intend to share the same post on multiple platforms. The key: write for your audience and remember the distinct culture of each platform. Let's take a look at what I mean with a few examples. Here are two posts promoting the same thing, a blog from Duolingo. At first glance, they're the same, but when you look a little closer, you'll see that the copy introducing both articles varies between Facebook and Twitter in order to engage the audience on each platform. Facebook is a platform that favors the story. Facebook users expect to be informed and entertained and are just fine clicking the See More button to read the full length of the post. Think of Facebook like it's Chicago. You're from out of town, we're busy, but we still want to know where you're from. On the other hand, Twitter audiences want information fast. Twitter is like New York. No one cares where you're from. Say what you mean and move on. If we're interested, we'll ask you to coffee, or in this case, open the link. With this variance in cultures in mind, we can stop to appreciate how Duolingo addresses each audience. On Facebook, they have room for 2 jokes to appeal to a wide range of language learners and close with the encompassing punchline, just us. On Twitter, they stick to 1 joke that encompasses the largest base of their language learners, 33.4 million Spanish learners to be exact, while embracing an informal and even quicker tone of voice by catching us mid-sentence and in lowercase, cringing, remembering the time, and abbreviations, thanks to my brave coworkers, with an arrow drawing attention to the CTA of the post, the blog to read. No time, space, or characters wasted. Let's take a look at another example from Feed My Starving Children. Once again, you'll notice the call to action is the same, asking for audiences to fund more meals for the organization's recipients. You'll notice, however, at first glance, a distinction in length. While the Twitter post is shorter, it is not simply abbreviated. Let's take notes on the differences between Facebook and Twitter. On Facebook, their hook is a surprising fact from the World Food Program, creating a sense of urgency and global importance, paving the way for the delivery of gratitude to everyone who helped make 2022 an impactful year. They tell the story of how many meals were packed and how many people were fed, thanked everyone involved, and included 3 branded hashtags prior to their call to action. As a reminder, Facebook users are happy to read the full story. By contrast, their post on Twitter reads like a highlight reel, showcasing the most impactful numbers first. 451 million meals, over 1 million kids fed a meal daily for a year, quickly voicing their thanks and moving straight to the call to action. Whatever you're cross-posting, it's important to remember what your audience is expecting and looking for on each platform. So let's take a look at Instagram versus Twitter. At first glance, you'll notice that the same post really isn't. First, take note of the graphic itself. For Instagram, the graphic's dimensions fit the best for the platform, while on Twitter, the graphic has been made more compact to accommodate the space offered by Twitter's default setting. Additionally, while Instagram provides more details about Amazon's offerings for internships, the Twitter post prompts the audience to learn more, focusing primarily on the Big Number Scholarship, opening with the scholarship opportunity for $40,000. On Instagram, your first priority is having your graphic be seen, and the caption is somewhat secondary. If an Instagram user clicks "See More," they are genuinely interested in reading more about your post and therefore will actually read your content, justifying a longer post. On Twitter, your first priority is link clicks. Get them to the link as soon as possible. With that in mind, if you don't have an engaging visual for Instagram, save the post for your other platforms. On Instagram, pictures really do say 1,000 words. So let's take a look at how this variation takes place on LinkedIn. This is a perfect example of a post that doesn't belong on Instagram, but is perfectly of value to LinkedIn and Twitter. Why not Instagram, you ask? Simply put, the graphic is not visually engaging or formatted for a visual-first platform. Instagram users are expecting to view their news feeds, not read them. However, on LinkedIn and Twitter, audiences seek to be informed on professional matters and news. Therefore, this graphic is perfectly acceptable for these platforms. Of note immediately is how they've tailored their copy to include a tagged third party, the United Health Group. This is a fantastic way to tag other organizations without disrupting the flow of the post or saving their tag for the end, which makes them seem like an afterthought. In some cases, you have to list tagged organizations or save them for the end if their username varies, but in most cases, you can incorporate the tag into the heart of the copy. You'll note again the use of the story throughout the post. Additionally, their use of hashtags for LinkedIn is perfect, as they are set apart from the post to avoid crowding the content of their message. On Twitter, you'll note the tag is also seamlessly integrated into the post copy, but only the highlight of the LinkedIn post is shared, the $3,200 scholarship and how to apply. Note that in all of the aforementioned cases, even with character limits, the posts still consist of a hook, delivery, and call to action. Character limits won't stop you when you have a plan and a strategy in mind. If your post graphic contains copy, make sure it's bite-sized. The text in the graphic should prompt the reader to seek out more information in the body of your post copy. Simply put, think of your graphic text as the initial hook for the body of the post. With that in mind, resist the temptation to repeat the graphic's text in your post copy word for word, which comes off as redundant. In fact, your post should elaborate on the content of the graphic, as those who will click see more are looking for more information. Let's take a look at an example of strong use of text in a graphic and one that could use some help. While there is nothing wrong with infographics, the platform is important to note. Taking a look at the infographic on the right, you'll notice that most of the text is barely legible. If this were posted on Facebook, it would be no problem, as users access Facebook both on their phones and desktop computers. This infographic would have the possibility of enlargement for their viewership. On Instagram, however, a platform primarily used on mobile devices, the process of zooming in on a post can be cumbersome, and in this case, still prove to be futile, as the pigmentation of the post would be too much to get a clear reading on the text in the graphic. Graphics that are too wordy belong on Facebook and LinkedIn. If the text is illegible at the dimensions of the platform, use it somewhere else. By contrast, 4Ocean's post on the left is a perfect example of utilizing copy in a post that complements its caption. First, the image is compelling, a trash-filled beach. Second, their showcase tweet screen capture bears a meme quality that makes the post morbidly humorous. Third, their caption elaborates rather than restates with "dump single-use plastic," followed by emojis, interesting information, and a viable call to action. All of this is easier said than done, so let's do it. You won't know until you try. Test your skills right here and now. Write a post for your organization. If you have trouble thinking of subject matter, consider rewriting the post copy for a recent post. First, consider the goal of the post. This will determine your call to action. Figure out your destination before embarking on the rest of the journey to tell a story that leads to the perfect ending. Next, consider how you can communicate the need for your call to action. Inform your audience with emphasis on necessity and their potential impact. This determines your delivery. Finally, get ready to make it pop off news feeds and get your audience to quit scrolling. What's surprising? How is the content of your post relatable? Make it matter. And there's your hook. We'll give you, running a little short on time here, so I'll give you a minute to write a post and pop it in the chat. So if you would like feedback on your posts, you can offer them in the chat, or you can send them to me directly after this presentation, Katrina@paulgregorymedia.com, and I can give you feedback on your draft post personally. And now with 5 minutes left, let's jump into a Q&A for any remaining questions. You have questions, we have answers, pop them in the chat.
Thanks, Katrina. Taking a look right now, we went ahead and also dropped Katrina's email address in the chat in case anybody would like to follow up with any specific questions. But if you do have a question now, we'll give it a couple seconds just for them to populate. And then if not, we will move forward. Alrighty, so I think that we are all set for today. So thank you so much for joining us for our webinar, Cause-Driven Copywriting. It's been a pleasure sharing the secrets of engaging copy with all of you. And we know that social media is a very powerful tool, and each platform has its own dialect and culture. So with the right strategy in copywriting, your post will have a real and tangible impact for your organization. And we understand that social media is time consuming between strategy and content creation, execution, and management. And that's why PGM is also here to help. So along with this webinar recording, I will be sending out more information on social media plans offered by PGM to set you up for success. We do have another webinar coming up at the end of March. So please join us again for 10 ways to build loyal brand ambassadors. And that will be presented by our marketing director, Marissa Schmidt. So have a good day today. Happy copywriting, and we hope to see you in the next webinar.